This presentation will tell you how to collect data on the occurrence and abundance of exotic species that can be used to analyze their distribution and test hypotheses about the environmental factors that affect their ecology. This protocol involves 3 steps: locate and obtain a GPS reading for each point, collect semi-quantitative data on exotic species at that point, collect additional environmental data about the point. You will complete this protocol for 21 data points, the beginning point of your assigned trail segment, and then points at every tenth of a mile intervals along the designated section of your trail. These individuals use the pedometer to determine the tenth of a mile segment. Now that they've reached their point, they're taking an initial GPS reading. Instructions for taking a GPS reading are included in another presentation. You'll be collecting data on 2 separate sides of the trail. We encourage you to choose one side of the trail and continue to use that side of the trail throughout your data collection process. You will note which side of your trail using either north, south, east, or west. You can bring a compass, or your GPS unit will help you figure that out. The next step is to mark your location if this is one of the trail segments in which you're encouraged to do so. You'll first use one of the flags given to you by the Trail Conference office, and then you'll use the additional flagging tape to mark trees in the area. This flagging tape is biodegradable, so should our validators miss some pieces, it will eventually degrade. We recommend you marking at least 3 different locations using the flagging tape. This marking will enable our validators to come to these particular designated sites and obtain similar data to yours. Next, our data collectors will lay out ropes to help them designate the near trail sampling area. You're marking a 6-foot by 20-foot plot. Once your plot and flags are set up, you're ready to collect the data. First, scan the vegetation within the rectangle, walking slowly back and forth, and comparing observations with your teammates.
I see some Rosa multiflora.
We encourage you to either start low and work your way up through the canopy, or start high and work your way down through the canopy. These individuals have decided to concentrate on the herb layer first. We encourage you to bring along your crib sheets of which you took notes based on the plant presentations. In addition, you have pictures of the leaves of each of the plants. Use these to help you designate whether or not you have one of the species on our list. Remember, some species can be rather confusing. If and when you see an exotic plant, note this plant on the data sheet by using the 4-letter plant code. Next, we encourage you to assign an abundance category to that species. So if you see fewer than 3, you'll record its abundance as few. If there is solid or nearly solid blanket of that species, you'd want to record it as many. Somewhere in between few or many, you'll want to record as some. Since this is the first time that these individuals are spotting these two species, they're taking clippings to bring back and put into their plant presses. They're going to put these into their bag for safekeeping. We'll show you how to press these specimens in another video. On your data sheet, be sure to create a new line for each species. Next, we encourage these individuals to look along the shrub layer and, if nothing spotted, up to the trees. Be sure to also keep an eye out for vines. After you've collected data within your rectangle, we encourage you to then collect data beyond that period. These are designated as far or distant from the trail. Once you're finished with one side, move your data collection procedure to the other side of the trail. Again, scan first the herb layer, then the shrub layer, then the trees, being sure to note any vines. If there are no exotics in a particular sample, either on side of the trail or distance, please record this in the data sheet as none. Again, we encourage you to do this for both side of the trail and for distance. That way we know that you've observed the vegetation in this sample area, but that there were no exotics or invasive species present. The final step in your data collection process should be reserved for noting any potential land use indicators. These are collected on a separate sheet of your data. Once completed, you'll move on to your next 10th of a mile segment. Please note that we encourage you, if you note any exotics in between your segments, to write these down on your notes sheet.